first thing I do, I get rid of the useless POFMA. I get rid of FICA. And I will update our defamation laws. Yes, there is a place for defamation laws, but not the draconian laws which currently are still in place in our country.
Now, Han Hui Hui, we talk about POFMA. I understand that during the POFMA committee hearings in Parliament, you were physically carried out or thrown out of Parliament. Can you tell us something about that?
I happen to have a stack of paper. Happen to his wife book cover is there. And then I'm not sure why all the camera looking at that piece of paper because I was holding it in front of my body. Yeah, but in the news they say that I held it up. Yeah, they say that I hold up a piece of paper to protest in the parliament. The thing is, if I want people to look at me, I don't need to hold up anything. I just hold it in front of me. People look at me already. And why are they looking at me? And why are they looking at that piece of paper? And why is that piece of paper a sign of protest? Why is he so sensitive about it? Because in his interview when people asked him about it, do you read that book? He said he got no time to read the book. You know why he got no time to read the book? Because he's busy reading other people's Facebook in order to POFMA them.
Okay, I think we better not talk some more about your. But understand that.
And another thing is, I haven't given birth at the time. I was still a virgin, so I was 33 kg. You know, every time I give birth to each child, I gain 1 kilo. Yeah.
So now you are 36 kilo after 3 kilo.
Yeah, correct. I'm 36 kilo right now. Yeah. So.
But the fact is that I understand that 3 security actually carried you out of Parliament now.
Actually, it was more than that in the photo, and I don't understand why so many people must touch me to ask me to get out. I already gave them
33
everything.
kilo, you need 3 person to carry you out. Were you struggling or I don't know, screaming, shouting?
I never scream, never shout. You know, I'm a peaceful person.
Okay. Okay, Lim Tian, you know, since today the main focus is about helping to crowdfund to pay the Hui Hui and the 6 litigants 22,000 cost to the AGC, let me just move back a bit to the judicial review. Yesterday, in the daily update of the Ministry of Health website, okay, the 7-day moving average of people in ICU was per 100,000 population was 0 for no minimum protection. No minimum protection means not fully vaccinated. Otherwise, formally, known in the website as, non-fully vaccinated. What is very surprising is that the number for up-to-date vaccination, meaning those who already have a booster, to meet the requirement to be, vaccinated up to date, is 0.12 per 100,000 population. What? I mean, did you argue this in your judicial review?
We did. In fact, we showed the figures that according to our calculations, the number of deaths, and don't forget, the government's narrative had always been vaccination will prevent serious illnesses and deaths. All right? Serious illnesses, I take it to mean people in ICU. All right? And when Hui Hui and the 5 others launched the application, in Hui Hui's affidavit, we showed the figure. And we used MOH's own numbers, which they publish on their website every day. All right? That the ratio was staggering. Number of deaths, the ratio was 4.7 to 1. That means the number of people dying having been fully vaccinated was 4.7 times that of unvaccinated. Right? Well, of course, MOH had their own data, whatever. The court didn't accept our arguments, okay? And not only that, when it came to another set of figures, I think this was serious illness, was it? I think it was ICU, all right? The figures were equally startling. If I remember correctly, now my memory may not be correct, right? I beg your pardon for it. I think it was 28 to 4 or something like that. That was the ratio. So again, the number of people in ICU being fully vaccinated was a lot more than people who were not vaccinated to the standard required to be considered fully vaccinated. All right? So when I saw those figures, it was clear as daylight to me. How can you argue? How can you argue that the unvaxxed are actually a danger to society? Now, I used to be a lot more on the ball, as you would put it, as far as this vaccine story was concerned, as far as the data and all that was concerned. I'm not so on the ball on it at the moment, but I believe that so many other countries now have relaxed the requirements totally. I understand now for England, for Britain, you do not need to be vaccinated to go in. All right? So long as you can show that you are negative, COVID negative, they allow you in. They don't care whether you're vaccinated or not. Yeah? All right? So, I think there is no point in pretending. I mean, you have all these restrictions, and then when the wave comes, you clamp down again. It was start and go. It killed off so many businesses. All right? Killed off so many businesses. And I feel very, very sorry for those people who stood up to their principles, who refused to be vaccinated, like Han Hui Hui, and who lost their jobs as a result. I'm not saying that Hui Hui lost the job, but Hui Hui also was in fear of being prejudiced, because her argument was this: if I want to apply for a job, I won't get it, because which employer will want to employ someone who's unvaccinated because of what the government said they could do? All right?
And on that note, which employer will want to employ, as I understand it, Han Hui Hui, that you're the first and last person in the history of Singapore to have been charged and found guilty for conducting an illegal protest in the only place where you can legally protest in Singapore. You want to tell us about this strange story?
So on 27 September 2014, I can remember the date very clearly now, because it's that date. Yeah, it's very, very meaningful to me. And then that was the day I realized that in Singapore you don't really have freedom of speech and freedom of assembly. Because the reason why I went to Hong Lim Park Speakers Corner was because I went to speak up on how the first speech was because of the defamation suit, on how there is no freedom of speech in Singapore. And by being charged, immediately they say that I can no longer hold public assembly.